What's up, everybody? Tonight is going to be kind of weird because unfortunately our guest had uh, some kind of issue or something, and he's not with us right now. Um, so tonight, I guess we're going to be open lines. If anybody's out there wants to chat, whatever, ask us about a case, stuff like that, and we'll be here. I'm just going to try and send an email real quick, so I can still hear everybody. Can you hear me, Tara?
I can hear you.
Ah,
Can you
you're
hear me?
not loud enough. I can hear you. I got to turn the speakers up. How's that? There we go. There we go. Um, give me 1 second here. My stupid computer would come on. It would work. I'm telling you, I'm gonna throw this thing out the fucking window. I really am. Excuse my French, everybody, but I really am. It's a brand new computer and it runs slower than a 15-year-old computer.
Oh, jeez.
It's unbelievable. It's literally unbelievable. Alright, I just sent them another email. Sent them an email. So, what do we have tonight? Well, we were supposed to have Bishop Ron on, but something happened and he's not here. So, when I find out what happened, we'll update everybody. So, what is going on? Oh, excuse me. So what's going on?
With me?
Yeah, you said you got a new case.
I do. I got a new case. Monk's Corner, South Carolina. It's residential. From what I know right now, the house was built on a cemetery.
Yeah.
Bodies were supposedly removed, but you know how people are. Sometimes they're not all removed.
Lazy people, I guess.
Very lazy people. Disembodied voices, seeing a woman's apparition, stuff like that. So I'll definitely keep you updated.
Nice. Yeah, I just had a wacky case come in the other day. Residential case. An apartment building. She lives in this apartment. And apparently numerous people have moved out of this apartment from time to time. I don't know. She's telling me 15 to 20 people moved out within a year. I don't know how true this is. It sounds doesn't sound like anything if you ask me. She's saying stuff's moving around and she wakes up in the morning with a knife pointed at her in bed.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'm really not. It's I don't know. I gotta investigate it, I guess. But we have. I don't know. We're not going to be able to get to her till like June, July, somewhere around there. Got too many things going on.
Oh yeah.
Facebook. Remember to start your live video. Duh. A little behind the games there, Facebook. Jeez. But yeah, that's what we got, and and then we have our event coming up, which is sold out. It's sold out in less than a week.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, granted, we only have like 26 people coming, but
No.
we're doing that to keep the numbers down because it's only two of us running it. So. But what we have coming up. I don't even know what we have coming up. Actually, I'm going to pull that file out real quick. And we can kind of talk about it. Look at this. It's nice and printed. I typed it this time. It's legible. It's legible.
I just typed out all my new, I had to switch everything from Free Agent to Spirits of Hell. So I had to rewrite the whole handbook, everything. Because my old computer, remember, broke. So all I have is the hard copies that I had in my book. So I had to redo it all. Very good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, well, I figured out how to actually store files on the computer. On this computer, not this one. This one I'm not even going to try because it'll probably get lost. Stupid thing is brand new and it runs slower than the 15-year-old computer with everything on it.
Right.
But yeah, but some of the complaints are things go missing, things move around. She wakes up with a knife pointed at her chest. Now it's not actually held.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's on the bed pointing at her.
So it materializes there?
No, she says it comes from the kitchen.
Is she married?
No.
Does she have kids?
She's a 60-year-old woman.
Mm.
And the closet door's open. Toilet paper goes missing. The whole roll will go missing, not just a few things. She has a glass table that's all scratched up that she didn't do, is what she says. Fire alarm goes off by itself. Boiling water went missing.
What?
She went to the bathroom. She put a pot of water on the stove to boil it. She went to the bathroom. She came back. It was gone.
What?
I don't know how much of this I believe. You're telling me something like that. It sounds like you left the pot on the stove, and it just boiled away.
Yeah,
it turned to steam. So supposedly she got an apparition caught on camera, and I'm still waiting for her to email it to me. She hasn't emailed it to me yet. So I think this is going to be another one of the you're going to have to go see a psychologist case.
Yeah.
It really just sounds that way. But she smelled rotting meat, and I don't know. Oh, and the Bible keeps closing. She had the house blessed by her Baptist church pastor. Takes Flexeril, or she was taking Flexeril for back pain, but I don't know.
Was she taking Flexeril and drinking?
I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird cases, I guess. We're just gonna have to go investigate it. I guess I don't know.
Yes.
I really don't. I really do not know. But yeah, that's that case. And then the other case I'm working on now, the Screamer. God, that sounds that sounds so dirty saying it like that, but it really is.
So what's been going on with that?
I talked to the husband the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as frequent as it was. Apparently, she's become a born-again Christian without being baptized. So she's praying a lot and stuff like that. Now, remember, she's Jewish. The family's Jewish, and she's praying a lot. She wants to become a born-again Catholic, which is fine. That's her decision. That's free will. But she removed everything that her mother gave her from the house. She had her husband remove it all. Furniture, all kinds of stuff that she's given her over the years. She wants it all burned. Now, I'm going to read the text. I'm going to read text to you. Just give me a second to pull it up. There. Okay. Hey, Dan, we moved the stuff that's cursed, in quotations, or connected to her mom out of the house. I need to cut a lot up since she gave us a lot of furniture. What do we do with non-burnable stuff like plastics, cloth, stuff like that? Can I throw stuff away, toys, stuff like that? And I commented, I'm like, whoa. When I talked to her, when I was there, I just thought it was like small items. You
Yeah, like trinkets.
Yeah, not a whole house full of furniture. I mean, whoa. To burn furniture, I'm gonna need that's a bonfire. I need a permit for that. But I gotta he hasn't gotten back to me yet. I gotta make an appointment with him to get out there and do it. But I'm thinking it's more psychological than demonic.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to her in her childhood.
I got to get down to it. I'm really wondering out myself. And for those just joining us, we had a late cancellation. Our guest had to cancel tonight for some family stuff, so we're just kind of talking around. And anybody has any questions about what we do, what Tara does, put them in the chat, and we'll answer your questions for you. You can even email us too. And then we can answer them later on in the later show.
Yeah.
So email us at njgd21@gmail.com. You can email Tara too. She can, what's your email address?
Well, I just switched it over. So spirits of Elohim Paranormal at gmail.com, or you can still email me at the Tara Free Agent Paranormal at gmail.com.
You got to send me your new email.
I will.
You got to send me that so I remember. Because I still send you stuff to Tara Free Agent Paranormal.
And that's fine. I'm not going to close it.
Are you kidding me? I have, let me see. I have, let me pull up all my emails here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to talk about trying to organize your emails?
Do you remember all the passwords?
Hell no. I have them all written down in my notes. And of course, I got to change them each time I forget a password. Oh man. But like I said, anybody has any questions, just put them out there, put them in the chat, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our abilities. We're not experts on anything, except maybe sleeping.
Yeah.
Which even then, I don't get enough. So mornings are really rough for me.
I don't get enough of it either.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we got coming up. But we have this investigation. I can't even think. Cemetery investigation, Frenchtown, New Jersey. And we'll be doing more. So unfortunately, it sold out like within a week. I was surprised. Like the first day, we had half a page full of people. And from what my colleague is telling me, that Frenchtown has a lot of ghosts.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's right along the Delaware River.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an old town, old early town. We're guessing 1700s. It started. Okay. And the cemetery started with the with the town. I drove through it. And some of the gravestones look like they're older than 1800s.
Really?
Yeah, you just can't read them though.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So But we're going to be doing that, and I'm going to be getting a class together of just basic paranormal knowledge. So if you want any lay person wants to go out and investigate, you're not going to get possessed or anything. You know what to look for, or at least have a basic knowledge of how to investigate. Because don't watch TV, because TV does not teach you. If you're going to watch TV, I think the best show would be to watch Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
I really do.
Me and Melissa were just talking about taps. Like, that is the number one show to watch if you want to know exactly what happens, because you debunk it. There could be people faking. You don't always get evidence.
I mean, Ghost Adventures does that too. Everybody hates on them guys, but they've over the years they've gotten better, and they debunk stuff and all that.
Yeah. Well, you know how I felt about him.
Everybody feels that way, and you got to give him credit for what he does.
I do. I've given him more respect now than what I did. Like,
oh yeah, when he first started, his first episode at Bobby Mackey's. Oh man, that was rough.
Did you finish watching? What is it called? Ghost Terror, or whatever it was. Was
that the last episode where they did the exorcism? No, I didn't know that. I was waiting for the next one. I kind of fell asleep watching it, so I was like, I gotta rewatch it. Something to do at work tomorrow.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
Since I gotta go out to Long Island in the morning, that'll keep me awake.
Well, I'll tell you this: that little ghost town now that she has is going to be a really banging bed and breakfast, because everybody's going to want to come.
I'm really wondering if that was all real or not. Because if you look it up now, in fact, I'll pull it up. Because if you look it up, I think it's an active bed and breakfast now, and it was an active bed and breakfast before. What was the name of it?
Oh man, let me hold on.
It was something Gulch.
Yeah. Ghost Town.
Ghost Town Terror.
Was it Galloping something? I can't remember.
No, Gunslinger Gulch.
Oh, okay.
Gunslinger, look. Here we go. SouthwestMT.com. Gunslinger Gulch. Yeah, I think this is more. I think the town was. I think her business wasn't doing good, and then all of a sudden it came up. Yeah, Gunslinger Gulch Bed and Breakfast, and I think it was just a ploy to get publicity.
Yeah.
If you ask me. Now I don't know, but I kind of don't believe it all.
No.
I mean, first of all, not every exorcism works. Number one. Number two, there's so many places for that demon to run around there and hide. Okay, you could think that the exorcism worked, and it could be in a different building or a different part of the property. Okay. I mean, I just don't feel it's a good idea to go there. At least if you're not paranormal.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying. Their website was made in 2022.
When was the show recorded?
I think it was actually 2021. Is when the show was. But They could have made a new website like I just did.
Yeah. I still say that it was a ploy to get publicity. A lot of people do that. You know, you got everybody and their mother on YouTube and all that. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, I have posted stuff on YouTube and Facebook and done live videos, but I've never done a live video of a private investigation, and I never will. But I mean, you got all these people who are out to do for fame and fortune and stuff like that. Well, yeah, if you see it on TV, I'll give you an example. And I'm not saying White Hill Mansion is guilty of this. White Hill Mansion in Fieldsboro, New Jersey. Okay, they were struggling. They were doing paranormal investigations prior to Paranormal Lockdown being there. But I'm friends with the people there, and after the show, it's like they're sold out, they're booked every weekend. You know, and not to say, and Hinsdale House too.
Yeah.
Hinsdale House too, and not to say Dan hasn't done a great job because he has. I mean, he's that's what he went to school for is marketing, I guess. I think I heard. So in addition to him doing that, and I think the house would have become popular without the show. But as soon as Paranormal Lockdown hit, boom.
Yeah.
Everybody flocked to it, and I did it. I was a couple months after. But it's nothing against it. I'm glad it happens because some of these historical houses need it.
They do.
They need it, but you got people going there for all the wrong reasons. So I don't know. I don't know
either.
What the hell? Oh. What? I don't know. Whatever. No, come on. Nobody's got any questions tonight?
No, nobody
I
does.
know everybody was expecting the bishop, but unfortunately the bishop had a family thing that came up and couldn't be here tonight. So we'll try to get him on again and a few other guests. I think next week we have Evan Jensen again. He's feeling better, so he's coming back.
Nice.
That's pretty much it for at the moment. I emailed to other exorcists that I've heard of. I've watched on YouTube, and both of them declined, unfortunately. So, it is what it is. There's other people out there, some other people that I've been looking at and watching and stuff like that to bring on.
Now, what are you looking for in for a guest? What do you want?
Got a heartbeat.
Got a heartbeat?
I'm not, a lot of the shows they want to have the celebrities on. And celebrities are nice. I'm not gonna lie, But I kind of want. Huh?
If Dan Aykroyd's watching, please come on our show. I am your biggest fan.
I would love to have Dan Aykroyd on. I would love to get an investigation involved in an investigation with him.
Oh my gosh, he's been the love of my life.
And if he comes wearing his proton pack and jumpsuit, even better. Sarah would probably cheat on her husband for Dan Aykroyd.
Sean knows that too. If Sean, babe, if you're watching, just know you're always going to be my other Dan Aykroyd.
You hear that, Sean? You better get a Ghostbusters jumpsuit and proton pack.
He did when we first met.
Yeah. Did you get that commercial?
Mm-hmm.
I sent you. That was funny. I thought it was stupid at first, and then I went back and looked at it. It was funny.
It is funny.
It was funny. All the MLB guys with Ghostbusters. That was good.
All right, I'm watching myself live right now. Let's see. Anybody on here?
Hi. How you doing? I don't even know. Let me see here. 7. There we go. Oh, it's kind of a delay. Oh, it's funny. It's picking up the I got the TV on behind the computer. I got it low, but it's still picking up the what you call it, the dialogue that they're talking about. I was watching a show called Have Steam Engine Will Travel.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one of my son's favorite shows.
No.
And they have these little tank engines that they run around. Right now, they're the Polar Express engine. We're up in Michigan at running the Polar Express locomotive, the 1225 Paramarquette locomotive, and all that. But it's funny that it's picking up the sound off. I guess his microphone's really good.
Nice.
It's pretty low, and I'm sure you just heard my son screaming.
That's all right.
But yeah.
I don't know.
Come on, people. Nobody watching?
No, they don't like us today.
Apparently no. That's cool. Well, that's because the bishop's not on. Come on, people. Nobody watching? I muted it. It's funny because I'll look over at it and I still haven't moved yet.
Right.
It's like a 30-second delay.
We only
wanted the bishop. Hey, unfortunately, shit happens. I can't control things. Believe me, if I could, I wouldn't be living in New Jersey. Guarantee you that one. It's kind of mean too.
Aw, thank you so much.
Thank you, Facebook user.
Anything you want to talk about?
Ask a question. Ask away. Just don't call me late for dinner. But we try to bring you what we can. Unfortunately, we can't control everything.
Yeah.
I really wish I could, but I can't. Your birds.
Logan
in New Hope. If you're talking about the Logan Inn in New Hope, I've walked in there. I've never actually stayed there. And unless you're renting a room, they won't let you investigate. And even then, they won't let you investigate outside your room. So it's not on my priority list right now. I'm assuming that's what it is. That's what you're talking about.
Did has any experiences? Like, since you're asking about Logan Inn, have you had experiences there? Anything cool?
Yeah.
I've never been there. Like,
I had an experience in, I can't think of the house next to the Logan Inn. Okay, yeah. I never been there to investigate. No, we ate there one time. It was good food. It was good food. But I had an experience in the house next to it. I can't remember the name of it. And we were doing the tour, and I wasn't even sensing anything. Nothing. All of a sudden, I felt this cold blast of air walk right through me. What room did you stay in, and did you have any experiences? Ooh, lights blinking.
Lights blinking.
Yeah, here, let me catch up. I stayed in the room. You sure that wasn't just the electric?
Were you asking a question? Blink twice for yes, blink once for no.
Yeah.
Oh, you asked for the haunted room.
The haunted room. Nice.
Reminds me of that show, like Paranormal Hotels. Can I get the haunted room? I love it. That's what I would ask too. Can I get? Actually, no, I wouldn't ask that. You know me, Dan. I would never ask for the haunted room.
Well, you would just find it.
I'd be like, I don't want. Just give me a nice, peaceful room so I could just sleep.
You're like a bloodhound chasing a prisoner from prison, escapee. Escapee, you can smell them. Sometimes the lights blink.
At a certain hour.
Nice. That's interesting. That is definitely interesting. No, I haven't investigated the Logan Inn. Eventually, I'd like to, but I just heard they had a fire not too long ago. So they're kind of. I know they were working on it, but on the building, but they it didn't exactly help that they had a fire. But it's one of the places I like to do a lot of New Hope and stuff. But unfortunately, for a town that's so haunted, nobody will let you investigate. Like, are you serious? Like you're literally building your town to be haunted, and that's it. You got a ghost tour. You got a ghost tour, and it's yeah. It's weird. I don't know. People are weird. People are very weird.
Very, very weird. I'm not one of the weird ones.
Yeah, okay. If you're not, then neither am I.
Oh man. Let's see what else. What else can we talk about?
The first time we actually met, we were at the candy store in Harper's Ferry. We were just like, "Hey, how you doing?" And it was all because I was wearing a Ghostbuster shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And what's her face that owns the store is like, "Hey, yeah, Tara's a Ghostbusters fan," and then I think we said hi, and then we messaged each other, and then that was that for a little bit, and then we got back in touch with each other.
Yeah, we went and had lunch at Battleground Bakery.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean we've been friends for
too long.
Yeah, I'd say about 6 years. Because I've been here for 4, almost 5. So 6 years.
Yeah. Wow.
It's crazy. We're actually going to have to get together and investigate, though. So I'll let you know when I'm going to be in West Virginia for the summer. Like, I'll be there twice during the summer.
I thought you were going there in May.
No, it'll be more like June, July. And then if you're this way, let me know. Or we can meet in the. I guess Harper's Ferry would basically be the middle. That or Virginia.
Yeah, I've always wanted to investigate Fredericksburg.
I think that would be fun.
If anybody's investigated Fredericksburg, let us know, because I've heard a lot of stories out of Fredericksburg. I mean, I've heard stories, buildings riddled with bullets. I mean, riddled with bullets. I'd like to get some more. I'd like to find out some more about this area. I mean, this area is pretty, Hunterdon County area in Jersey is fairly haunted, I want to say, because we're not far from the Delaware River.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Plus,
yeah.
we have a lot of streams and culverts and stuff like that. And so settlements would have been put up around the water and stuff. So, but I know there's a few stories out there that we're going to investigate. Unfortunately, we didn't get to investigate the Rockport train wreck. yet because of the case that I'm working on now.
Oh.
But we will be investigating, and I probably will be probably calling you. Um, that one I might go live from.
Okay.
That one I might do this from. Because there's nobody's personal information involved or anything like that, and stuff. So that one I might do, but
I'll get on and be like, it's behind you.
yeah, it's behind you. Not anymore.
If you do that, I'll get out some of my equipment and I'll go into a quiet area and see if I can get EVPs from where you are.
You a quiet area?
I'll
What,
go
are you
to,
gonna leave your house?
I mean, right now, what? You hear the hawk in the background?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why you got guns?
it's waiting for me to let my chickens out.
Oh, nice.
There's the second one.
I gotta love Mother Nature. Mother Nature. I don't know about you down there, but Mother Nature's been a biatch lately up here.
Yeah, it was cold last week. Now it's getting hot.
It was 50 degrees this morning, 70 degrees this afternoon, and dropped down to the 50s again.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, which I guess it's for this area. I guess it's normal, but it's been raining a lot. It's been raining a lot, and that's what really blows.
It's gonna
I hope,
knock
I hope, I hope for our event it's a nice night. We purposely picked the later date for obvious reasons
Yeah.
and stuff, and I'm actually looking forward to it. And my computer says I'm now watching a live video. The broadcaster and other viewers can see that you're watching too.
Let me see. Are you watching?
Yeah, I'm watching. Oh, it doesn't show me I'm watching. What am I watching on there? Hey, it's not showing me that I'm watching it. Huh, that's weird. Maybe I'm not watching it. Hang on there. Hi, me. Oh, that's why I had to comment. That's why I had to write a comment. Hey, you know what? For the rest of the day, we're gonna do a show like this. Who's texting me? Oh, saying you commented. Did you look into the battleship or the aircraft carrier? What's your ghost experience?
Oh man. I forgot.
Jeez, you can't type. I forgot the T.
I see that.
I can't spell. Oh man. Like, this is what happens when you work too much, people.
Right? Oh, people, where are you?
Maybe my position.
Who's watching? There's one person watching. Is it me or you? Mine says only one.
Mine says only one too, but there's 3 people watching. Me, somebody on the happy hour page, and somebody on Twitch.
Okay.
Still
So
makes me
you're
angry.
in the session in Gettysburg. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was an interesting night. Ugh. The wife wasn't too happy with me about that, but
No, no, not at all.
that was uh, that was definitely an interesting night. I was drawn down to the pit, and I actually stayed there all freaking night. And it was it was a very interesting experience.
Was that the night I called and said you need to watch out?
No, that was a different one.
That was a different one.
Yeah, that was months before. That was one we were at the haunted trails of Gettysburg, and that was the guy that had all kinds of attachments. Took a picture of him, and there's this huge demon standing behind him.
Okay. I remember.
I have no clue where the hell the picture is now because I can't find it, unfortunately. But it was freaky. At that point, I turned around and told him, I said, "Dude, you got to get cleansed before you do anything else with us." And that was the last I heard of him. I'm thinking he was possessed. Looking back on it, I really am. But no, we were in the orphanage, and it was in the pit, and I was provoking, being stupid. Oh, I think I hear little feet coming in. No, he ran away.
He ran away?
Yeah, he ran away. And I was being stupid. I saw this white mist form around me, and it was going into my mouth and nose. And then I finally said, I gotta get the hell out of there. So I got out of there, flung the door open, almost ripped it off the hinges. And everybody that was there said it wasn't me, and that I had something attached and it was affecting me. And I got out, ran upstairs, couldn't get out. I couldn't get out because I got lost upstairs. It was like being in a smoky fire. And for those of you firefighters that are firefighters know what I'm talking about. But once I got outside, it released its attachment on me, and it went away. I slept good that night. I slept for about 12 hours.
Oh, I bet.
But I mean, my wife said I was pale and like I was as white as a ghost from that. And I still haven't been back to this day. I do plan on going back and telling Rosa Carmichael she's the real bitch, and that I'm gonna exercise her ass.
Uh-huh.
And for those that you don't believe me, I will.
I believe you.
Oh.
Well, tell another story while I run to the latrine again.
Here's the story of a man named Brady.
Should I put myself on mute or am I okay?
Oh, I don't care.
All right, I'll put myself.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, I'm talking to myself. I don't know. I've had too many stories to count. And I'll tell you how I got into the paranormal. I was in my sophomore, junior year, that summer of high school, and I went out to football camp because in high school I played football. At Penn State was the camp, and we went. My father picked me up, and we went to Gettysburg for the reenactment that year. It's about the time for the reenactment, so we went, and we were running around the battlefield and all that, and everybody was dressed as a reenactor. I really didn't think anything of this. But there goes the door. No, the door did not close by itself. That was the wife trying to keep my son out. Anyway, we were in Devil's Den, and I'm up on top of the rock, and I saw what I thought was a reenactor. Then I looked down into the parking lot. There was no other cars in the parking lot, other than my my dad's car. And I looked back, and the reenactor was gone. And then later on, I read about the Texan that shows up at the at Devil's Den, and they described exactly what I saw. So I'm like, oh, cool, this is great. And that's where I became a believer in the paranormal. Then, for those of you who do know me, I used to have horses when I was younger and before it got too expensive in New Jersey. And I was out there with the Pennsylvania Quarter Horse Association on a trail ride. We stayed at Artillery Ridge Campground in Gettysburg on 134, I think it is, 20-Town Road. And we did a ghost hunt in the campground. I got a picture of it's either me or my friend. We got a picture of a tree, of a Y, like a Y. And there was a man, a Confederate general standing there, and in the picture, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's kind of funny because we were out trail riding at Pickett's Charge, and all of a sudden both horses stopped dead in their tracks, turned around, and hauled ass home. Hauled ass back to the campground. I mean, we couldn't even stop them. That was my second brush with the paranormal. That's when I started, just kind of wandering around, taking pictures and stuff like that. And, and then here, lo and behold, 15, 20 years later, I don't know how long it's been. Here I am, dealing with the cases nobody else wants to deal with.
Yeah. I don't feel like dealing with those. That's why I call you.
Oh, come on. They're fun.
Oh.
They're fun. And how many times do you get to curse at a ghost?
Well, I do all the time.
Usually they curse at me, so.
I've been called some pretty nasty names.
I got called gay in one of them. I got an EVP, a Class A EVP that says you're gay. Like, really? That's all you got? And by the way, I'm not. And I don't really care if you are or not. Sarah, how did you get into the paranormal?
Oh, me? Well, I was born a natural medium, and I actually got into it.
She's weird.
Watching Ghostbusters as a kid. That just shows how old I am. I went and saw the second one in the theater with my dad, but they actually made me feel like I didn't need to be afraid of spirits. And then I started reading books. The first book I got at a library was a ghost book, and just started realizing that I could talk to them, and I could see them, which was scary at the beginning, but now I just tell them there's a revolving door, you get out and you can't come in. But I really got into it when I was 16, started, EVPs, and I took string and would put flour on the floor, all the really old school stuff.
I still do that today.
Yeah. And I've been doing it ever since. It's just, I guess it's natural.
Yeah, I guess. I actually want to go back to the old ways of
the flour and string.
Flour with using bells on doors and stuff like that. Get some bells, bless them, and stuff like that. And I really want to go back to the old ways of doing stuff.
I have a bell. Sometimes, actually, the haunted carousel I have played today before Sean and all the kids left. I was like, I gotta get ready. I was like, I'm going to be talking to a bishop. And then all of a sudden, the carousel started going. If you guys would all like to see this carousel, I will go get it and show you guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go get it. Yeah, she's got a few haunted items, like I do. Mine are. I got two dolls up there, Homer Simpson, and they say the Ouija board is not haunted, but I don't know. I haven't investigated it yet. But I have two haunted mirrors downstairs, outside, hanging up behind my toolbox. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those yet. One of them's huge. I mean, it's It's like a monster freaking mirror. But that was given to me because college girl. Yeah, I gotta find out if that activity stopped with that on that one. Hey, look at the horsey! Yay, horsey!
Look,
Is it playing right now?
I'm not touching.
Oh no way!
I'm gonna put it somewhere else, and it's stuck on the bottom where I can't move the thing. So it's been playing the whole time in the room.
Nice.
So
We got a question for you. Have you ever connected to the people that you have known who have passed?
I have, and I have connected with people all over the world who have messaged me. Like when I used to be on the paranormal pages, I would say, I'd be talking to other people that were mediums and stuff, and then people would just automatically message me and be like, "Hey, my friend has this thing going on." I'd be like, "Don't say anything." Then we try to figure it out. I had one in New Zealand, and I explained to this person that her friend's kids. I said it was a boy and a girl. We're seeing like a really tall shadow person. And she was like, "How do you know that? And how can you go that far and see that?" I don't know. I have no clue. Like,
I come prepared.
me too.
Mine's bigger.
I've been sticking it in my ghost cup. If anybody wants this, well, wait. Where is it? Okay, that's on Amazon, y'all.
Nice. Great. Now we're gonna get blocked.
But yeah, just I connect with the only person that I've never ever got to connect with is my actual real dad. Other people have seen him around me, but I have never actually been able to see him or communicate with him. The only way that I know that sometimes he's there is this one song, and it is it "Owner of a Lonely Heart"? Because I used to be like, that's the song that I'm going to dedicate to my dad. And it comes on, like, it will change radio station and be on and stuff. It's crazy. But yeah. Yeah, a lot of people. I've kind of helped Dan out a little bit with his mom and stuff. And
you just throw something at me when she wants attention.
yeah.
Or she slaps me upside the head. She's done that a few times. She did that the other day when me and the wife were having an argument.
Oh.
I was at work and all of a sudden, we got done arguing and hung up the phone and all. Next thing I know, I go, boom! Ow! That was in Pennsylvania. I wonder if the portal in my house is still open.
Did you do anything about it?
I couldn't find anything to close it, but I saged and I blessed every room in the house, including the bathroom and the toilet. And I haven't actually checked it lately.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just curious to see if anything's still coming all over.
Look, everybody, he really does have a portal
in my toilet.
In his toilet. And everybody needs to realize that it's a water source.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, it is so used for, the demonic smell, and it'd be perfect for a demon to come in and out of, because you couldn't tell if it was the crap or the demon.
Especially after this morning.
What'd you eat?
Not me. Wasn't me.
Don't you call her out on that. You'll be arguing after this.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's nasty, but unfortunately, it's true. Somebody in Gettysburg that is well known in Gettysburg did it right after my son was born.
Yeah.
2 years ago, 2019, July of 2019, and it was, you know, it was wrong. That's me. I mean, literally, you're gonna do that with a newborn? What kind of people are you?
People that don't have a conscience or a soul.
It's funny. It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that because after everything I've read and and all that and studied and still studying and all that, it kind of leads me down that path that yeah, they have some kind of demonic thing going on.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So the soul is so important to us because after our body dies, you know, what are the aspects of the soul? How many parts of the soul do you think we have?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Um, I think our soul is just one.
This one?
Yeah, I believe our soul is just one.
Do you think the mind, not the brain, because the brain's just an organ, but do you think the mind is your soul? Like, because your brain doesn't always realize what your mind is thinking at the time. Like, I lost my keys.
Oh,
Your
God.
brain isn't functioning. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy that,
I mean, it could be. I mean, I've never. I don't know. I'm not that deep into reading. Into reading it yet. I'm still working on it, but I'm gonna get a lot of time on my hands, unfortunately. So I haven't seen anything in the text in any text about it, but
yeah,
that doesn't mean it can't be. Um, I mean, if you ask me, I think your soul kind of has to do with almost your heart.
that
You know,
and you know what you're saying is exactly true because I've been studying on the soul.
yeah,
And the Christian part of the soul is the mind and
mhm,
the body and the heart because you think with your heart most of the time that
yeah.
connects with your mind. So what
Oh
you're
yeah,
saying is
definitely,
really true.
definitely. I mean, every time we get into a fight, an hour later, I'm like feeling bad. That I yelled and screamed and all that. You
Yes.
know, so I mean, I think it's your soul, but I mean, when a demon takes over your body, it takes over everything.
Yeah.
You don't exist when that thing um, manifests. So I mean, it basically takes your soul for as long as it manifests.
Hmm.
And that's why it's so important to call somebody or email somebody. Don't listen to the voices in your heads, people. They'll get you into trouble.
Yeah.
Just like the
Cut off
case.
any limbs.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that. You read my mind. I'm gonna let you tell that one.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a roundabout
This
of
get
something.
kind of this gets kind of nasty and kind of disgusting. So if you don't
We're
want to
just
listen
gonna
to it,
do a scenario
yeah,
of something. So let's say that you were a heavy drug user, a heavy alcoholic, and you gave it up. You're doing good, you're doing wonderful. All of a sudden, your mind goes, I'm going to be a hardcore spiritual person, which is great if you're a Christian, if you go whatever way you want to. All of a sudden, though, you're a prophet and you must lead the church and you must do all this. But yet, your mind, you messed up, okay? You messed up. When you go to a spiritual leader and you tell them that you're going to take over and stuff and start threatening them, you're wrong. So let's just say that's one scenario. And from you being a prophet, you are told to cut off a limb of your body, and you do it.
By God.
Why would any God tell you to do that? Any of them. First off, God's too busy to sit there and actually talk to you about things like that. Okay?
That's what he has his angels for.
All right. In the Norse religion, we have ancestors that we talk to. We don't go you don't go and you talk to the gods. Gods are too busy. They don't give a crap about you and your little piddly lives. Like, I don't. So you cut off your limb. You cray. All right. You need to go get help. Is this a possession? I would. It's either that or your brain has just totally fried itself from all the drug use and the alcohol that you did, honey. You need to, and you need to go. You need to put yourself in one of them nice little mental hospitals and get yourself right with yourself.
Yeah, that really could be too. And unfortunately, it's sad to say that, but I mean, when I hear something like that,
Uh-huh. So on the aspects of that, as a soul, you don't have one.
Yeah. And I think that person needs some serious help.
Yeah.
And
if you are a family member,
he needs to find an exorcist, a demonologist, somebody. Somebody that can delineate whether it's mental health or possession. I mean, in that case, I would go with possession.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they're going to need one of every religion up in there. Like, let's figure out what is this.
What religion was it again? It was
from what I heard, it was Christian, like Southern. It's either Lutheran or Baptist something.
Probably Southern Baptist. I've heard some wild stories from them.
And people, if you have a family member doing that stuff, man, make sure that they stay in a mental hospital for reals. Like, they need help.
Don't let them get out.
Don't let them get out.
Because even mental health, because didn't he go for a psych eval?
Mm-hmm.
And they kicked him out?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's pretty bad when you get kicked out of a psych eval, a psych hospital. That's bad.
Mm.
That's kind of why where I lean towards this possession. Because, I mean, in reality, no psych hospital will do that.
Yeah.
Because that's technically a liability on them.
Yeah.
It's really a liability if they go out and kill somebody or, hurt themselves or anything like that. The hospital could be sued for malpractice.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it almost reminds me of a movie that I saw, which is, I think it's the Vatican tapes.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see that one?
I saw half of it and I had to turn it off.
It's an interesting movie. It really is. It really is. And when I was watching, I was like, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Because they released the woman from the hospital. Except she's dead.
Yeah.
The woman is dead. But she's alive.
How does that happen?
Well, they say she was possessed by the Antichrist. Because they had, she had, stigmata, the things on her hand, like I have. Mm-hmm. But no, it's not stigmata. I have it on both hands and both feet. Which I find is kind of funny that it's in that spot. But that was a workplace cut that I just kind of kept opening up to clean it. But that was that was an interesting movie. Killed the family, killed the priest, killed the exorcist, left the priest alive. And for those, I can't give any more details. So for those who want to watch it, go watch it. It's called The Vatican Tapes. It's an interesting movie. Very interesting.
Very nice. We got some mosquitoes up in here the size of a small dog. Get the heck out of here.
You are in South Carolina.
Good Lord, they can carry me away.
Well, yeah. You're possessed. I mean, come on. Because that's demon print.
What my mom calls bugs is demons from hell.
Some of them are.
She goes, "Get back to hell where you belong."
The power of Christ compels you.
That's what I do when I slap them.
You gotta get that. You gotta get that meme with the exorcist exercising the woman floating with the cup of coffee. The power of coffee compels you.
I love it.
Oh.
I don't know. So, is he going to reschedule?
He hasn't gotten back to me yet. His phone is off, so I'm assuming that he had some kind of issue, some kind of family issue going on. He is hard to get hold of. Yeah, I mean, even though he's retired, he's still doing cases. He's coordinating cases, and he's a very busy guy. So even if you did forget, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
I can forgive you. You're a busy guy, and I know how busy you are because I'm that busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I got cases coming out the wazoo. People emailing me on the website, hi or hey, and that's it. People, if you're going to do that, do not bother because I will not answer you. Okay, I will not answer you, and because you're wasting my time. When I'm putting more effort into somebody who really needs my help. Okay. If I was 911 and you did that, I should put bug spray on.
It's the cologne of South Carolina. Okay?
If I was 911 and you did that, you could literally be held responsible and be charged. Okay. So please don't send stupid messages like hey, hi. I don't care if you think it's funny or not. This really happens. And if you think it's funny, then you need help yourself. Because this happens to people all the time, and it's wrong to laugh at them.
Yeah, you are wrong to laugh at them.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of them are. Some of the cases are funny, but you just killed one. How dare you?
Let me turn on this light.
You bug murderer. Great. Now we're gonna hear all the bugs. Zzz, zzz, zzz. But if you're looking for a laugh, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna answer you. I'm sorry to say, but I'm not gonna answer you. I don't think anybody would.
The motion light just came on by itself. Oh.
Well, that could be a bug. That could be one of your giant mosquitoes down there.
Turn it on again if you can.
Let's see if it does.
Better lighting.
So so you're taking your two friends on your investigation?
Mm-hmm.
The one's never been on an investigation?
Not with me. Not with me on one that hasn't been just for fun. So.
We're gonna have to have her on. I want to know her. I want to know about her experience.
Okay.
I want to know about her experience. So not next weekend, the weekend after.
Sounds good.
Which, if I can get my calendar out here, I can find out. June, May. Sunday is Evan. So this the 8th. We will have her on the 8th. So let me know.
Sounds good.
Let me know about that. And 'cause I want to find out. I want to find out the truth about Tara.
My paranormal investigating styles is very. I'm mean. I'm rude.
She yells at him.
I tell them that they're wrong and they need to be doing stuff correctly.
Again, the power of coffee compels you. Leave.
No, I'm actually one of the nicest people I'll ever know. I just have this face and it naturally looks like that, but I'm really nice.
Oh my God. Hey, look at that. I got a stink bug in here. Oh, these stupid stink bugs. I'll leave.
These dogs better knock off their barking.
Like,
All right.
dogs?
No, not yet. Do you have any?
Dogs? No, I had to put my dog down.
Oh, I thought you said lightning bugs. See how much I pay attention?
I'm in the house. Oh, I wish I was outside. It's nice outside right now.
It is very nice out. So who is the guest for next week?
Next week is Evan Jensen. The guest we were supposed to have a couple weeks ago, but he was sick. So, and then I will confirm with him once, the end of the week. And I'll have to get the bishop back on again.
Alrighty.
I'm trying to get some other bishops or other exorcists to come on. Some other people. So if anybody just wants to chat, from a different team or whatever. I mean, I'm not really looking for celebrity recognition.
No,
Either is better. I mean, I'm a friendly guy. I may not look it. I'm a friendly guy. Just don't piss me off. No, just kidding. I am a friendly guy. So if you want to chat, talk about experiences, you want to talk about, your first date with somebody, or your ex-boyfriend. I do ex-boyfriend removal services. I'm just kidding. I told that to my cousin-in-law, and she looked at me like I had two heads. Like, what am I gonna do? I said, well, I got friends all over the place. But if you wanna, let me know. Email us, email me, email Tara, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you need some help with a case, I'll come out as long as it's somewhere near Jersey. If you're looking in Florida, email Tara.
Yeah, email me and I'll email the closest people.
Yeah, and then I'll probably end up going down there anyway because she'll call me for help.
Yep.
So in that case, I require airfare. Well, no, I don't fly. Gas money, food, hotel, and beer. So, but I mean, it's a rough world out there,
It's a very rough world.
And we don't necessarily have to have a guest on it every time. We can just chit chat like we do most of the times.
And we'd love to chit chat with you guys.
Yeah.
Ask away questions. That's why we're here. We're here to talk paranormal. Paranormal happy hour, y'all.
Yeah, bring your beer, your whiskey, or whatever the hell you drink. Moonshine. Yeah. Not moonshine though, but you send it. I require moonshine too from down south.
Oh.
And not apple pie. I'm talking the real stuff. It's been a long time since I had the real stuff. Stuff you can sniff and get hammered on.
You going?
Yeah. But I make myself sound like an alcoholic. And I haven't had a drink I haven't drank a beer since the other night. It was the first time I drank in a long time. We were out to dinner and I had a couple of beers with dinner, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah. There's a place up here called the Chimney Rock Inn, or 1863 Chimney Rock Inn, whatever it's called. It's down in Flemington, and they got some really good food. A little bit pricey, but it's worth it.
Nice.
It's worth it. It's worth it. It's okay to drink. Let me tell you, it really is. It really is, because some of these cases you just want to like down. You get done with these cases and you just want to like hit the bar and close the bar down.
Oh yeah. That used to be me. I'm too old now. My hangovers are horrible, so I try not to.
I can't even remember the last hangover I had.
Oh God.
It's been that long. After I got sick and I threw up in the wife's flowers. Although they came out, they grew well. So I don't know why she's mad at me.
Nice.
Yeah, they grew pretty well. That was probably the last time I really drank to that point.
What are they? They are just barking away.
Damn dogs.
I know, right?
But yeah, it's so yeah, anybody if you wanna come on and just chit chat and have a good time, that's what we're here for.
Yes.
We're here to help. We're here to make friends. We're here to make colleagues.
We're not judgy either.
Well, maybe she's not, but I am. No, I'm just kidding. I save my judgment for the end.
Yeah.
I really do. If you go into a case and be stupid, I'm gonna turn around and tell you to leave. That's one of the rules. That's one of the rules of our event. Don't do anything stupid where I'm gonna have to kick you out. Because it's not gonna just come back on you. It could come back on somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Although I am curious, there was a investigation a couple weeks ago of the Thomas Edison property in Edison, New Jersey. And I'm kind of curious to find out what happened with that. I was gonna go to it, but I didn't feel good, and I didn't feel like wandering around. But I am curious. Maybe I'll have to message the team and find out how that went. I'm curious. I think I'm gonna do that. But those dogs are really freaking annoying.
Yes, they are.
Don't you guys have like a dog law about dogs barking?
No, they're all in the house.
Are those your dogs or?
No, they are, and then we got the one on the other side.
Oh, they're sitting there having a conversation with each other. Hey, maybe they're doing a show too.
Usually they don't bark, so I don't know why they're barking.
There's a ghost.
I don't care. When I go inside, if there is, I'm just going to be like, get out.
Shoo. Go. You're not welcome here tonight.
No, not at all. My new thing now is definitely saging myself after each one. Since that one YouTube video that we watched.
The Paranormal Files?
Yep.
Don't even get me started on that.
But
I'm seeing more and more of that stuff lately, and I'm not liking it. I'm really not.
definitely need to sage my bitch slap hand.
Slap hand. I would love to do that to those people. That's the problem. We did a whole uh, episode on that, and that's the problem with some of these things is that you're watching these YouTube videos and they're doing stupid shit like forgive my French, but you know, and they're doing stupid stuff like that, like, oh, come into me, use my body. If you're a demon, use my body. Oh my God, you just possessed yourself.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what goes through these people's heads. I get it. You want views. You make money on this crap. You're not in it for actual research or to help anybody.
No.
I would love to get paid for what I do.
Entertainment is what they're doing.
Yeah. You are entertainment, therefore you are fake.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all shows are faked, but all YouTube shows I would say are faked. I don't believe anything. I watch them to laugh at them.
Oh yeah.
It's I don't know. Stupid people.
Well, y'all.
Maybe we ought to find some more and do some more about that.
We should do that. We should do one on mediums and like sensitives to tell fake or not.
Hold on. I'm feeling something. I don't know.
That's where it will be sometimes. People will be like, "Can you tell me that?" No, I can't because there's nothing.
Yes, great idea. Thank you guys. I always enjoy listening.
Oh, thank you.
Tell everybody about us. We speak the truth. We speak the truth. There's actually a place. We were just in New Hope the other day. We took it was the day before Easter actually.
Mm-hmm.
We took Edison to the railroad to ride the train and all that. And there was a store that I've been hearing about called the Creeper Gallery or whatever it is. And I walked in there and okay, definitely creepy. I didn't spend a lot of time in there because they were busy. But I'm gonna have to go back in there. But supposedly they got haunted items.
Oh.
And I wanted to talk to the guy, but they were swamped. I mean, the guy was literally he was ringing somebody up and talking to somebody over here. So I was like, cool. But I mean, I don't know. I there's so many places out there that are probably haunted. In fact, there's actually a bridge out there, and I don't know, you remember my Crown Vic?
Uh-huh.
We had that, and we were parked at the bridge, and a cop pulled up. And I'm like, we were talking for a little bit. And he's like, he goes, yeah. Once I saw you, I turned around. I passed you. I turned around, and I knew what you were doing. And we started talking about the bridge and the claim on the bridge and all that. And he said we can't stay there, unfortunately, but he did give us a place to go.
Nice.
So I mean, it's great. It's great that they acknowledge it. But I just wish like people in New Hope, businesses and stuff like that, would be more open to investigations. Like we said before, it could bring in a lot of money. Unfortunately, you're using your ghosts and stuff like that, and those that are in purgatory. But I mean, it could help you out financially.
Yeah.
especially after the pandemic. You know, but it was yeah. I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna go back, try and go back there without my son because he was being cranky and tired and all that. So I didn't stick around very long. Try the Black Bass Inn also. I've heard some stories about that, but every time I go there, it's never open.
That's cool. Black
Yeah.
Bass Inn.
I mean, you can look up New Hope and look, oh my God, this haunting, this haunting, this haunting, this haunting, and they even have the ghost tour. I want to do the ghost walk and all that.
I
Unfortunately,
still haven't done that here. I haven't done the ghost walk here.
you got to do the one at Charlestown. The one at Charlestown is really good, or Charleston, I should say, not Charlestown.
The
State.
one,
What kind of activity did you get there? Because we did that, and oh my God, that was nuts. He took you into one of the original cemeteries in Charleston, and they took you into the underground vault area.
really?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was used as a prison, hot, cold, a little possession. Really,
Oh.
a little possession. Wow, that's interesting. Never heard that one about the Black Bass Inn, but I guess I'll have to do some research on that and check that out. The problem is New Hope's very expensive. And right now, I did the tour as well. How was the tour? New Hope is expensive. And right now, I'm trying to recover from the pandemic and all that. We're just writing in here. We were doing that before. All right. Yeah, I hear my son screaming, so probably got to go help the wife. So we're going to get off here.
All right. Well, tune in next week. Bring your friends.
We're going to mention next week of the Paranormal Herald. He's kind of a, how do I put this?
Seeker of the truth.
Well, yeah, he is media and all that, but I'm looking for the word. I can't think of it. It's controversial.
Yeah.
He's one of the more controversial people in the media, in the paranormal media. So we'll talk about what he's done and some other stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, we might be bashing some people. I'm really not gonna lie.
As long as we bash that one guy.
Yeah, we might be telling the truth about some people. So I haven't decided if we're going to do that or not, but that's what's next week, 7 p.m. here. The bishop's on.
Heidi, how are you doing?
Hey, that's that time zone thing, isn't it?
It sure is. It gets me lost all the time. Always 3 hours behind, and when I do a show like this, it's like I'm a time traveler. I go back forward into time.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. Well, we have the bishop on, everybody. Unfortunately, he lives in California, so he's 3 hours behind us. But don't worry, we covered you. We told everybody that you had a family emergency. And we weren't sure if you were going to come on or not. But so, how's the weather out there in California?
You know what? We're suffering. It's like close to 80 degrees out here. I don't know if I could take it anymore. It's just too, uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I kind of miss back east, where we
I was
have
going to say,
snow
come out to Jersey. It's probably it's about 60 right now. But
I'm from Brooklyn, so
right.
I'm from Brooklyn, so I pretty much am aware of what's going on in terms of the Four Seasons and stuff, and I do miss it, But
yeah, seasons are nice. Tara's in South Carolina.
I lived there for a while.
Ooh.
Fort Jackson.
Nice.
South Carolina, yeah. Did basic training there.
I went to basic training there.
Long time ago. Oh, really? Wow.
I did.
She was in the military.
2002.
Yeah. Well, I was much earlier than that.
She graduated high school in 2002. So,
I'd love to tell you what I was doing in 2002. I mean, whoa.
well, you're probably doing an exorcism, right?
Exactly right.
So, well, since we got you, I mean, we can go longer. I don't know if Tara said you had to go or something.
I do. I have to go, but it was so nice meeting you.
Same here.
And
Yeah,
hopefully we can do this again.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I can hang out a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about that, guys. It's
right. It happens.
People on the West are always behind.
I just thought you didn't pay your exorcism and got repossessed.
Boy.
So yeah, so if Tara has to go, we'll say bye to Tara, and then we can talk.
All right.
Okay. Well,
bye guys.
Take care. Till next time.
Till next time.
So why don't we start with how you got into being an exorcist?
Well, it started out with a supernatural event that occurred in my life when I was around 11 years old. And I was in the bathroom, believe it or not, taking a shower, and this bright light blasts right through the window, almost blinding, so much so that when I closed my eyes, I actually saw myself many years in the future, where I was actually wearing a Roman collar and acting in the role of a parish priest. And I saw that when I was 11 years old. And as a result, I call this a divine message, if you will. And so as a result, I've been following that trail ever since. Long time ago. So how's it going with you?
My story, pretty good. I mean, I got a couple cases, but it sounds like most of them are mental illness versus possession. In fact, I actually have one that I'm going to let you listen to this, okay? And you tell me what you think. This is the beginning of the recording before I even pulled anything out.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I went over to this disgusting, evil monster's house. I can't see people because they're not human. I went over to these monsters' house, and I told them that I was getting well. And obviously, they didn't like that. Made them very angry. So she was.
Almost sounds like an exorcism. This case came to me. The husband called me and requested us to come out and assess it. And she claims that her mother and her brother are cursing her. And she screams like this, like nonstop all day. I mean, I was there 2 hours and I had a headache when I walked out. So I've been in contact with the husband. I recommended to get the psychological exam done before we go any further, and that if she wanted to, she was telling me about stuff that she had from her mother, and I said, well, we can burn the stuff in a holy fire. Little did I know, her husband called me Thursday or Friday of last week that they had a lot of furniture that was given to her. So I told him, I said, well, I can't burn furniture without a permit. I mean, I can bless it, I could do whatever, but, even her husband doesn't believe. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you said well to have them have this person have a psychological evaluation and to make sure that it is, what you're dealing with is actually a true demonic entity. But I also will say this, demonic oppression is when a demonic entity places an implant in your brain, and as a result, your whole demeanor starts going slowly down. You start having bad habits, for example, and things happen where you're totally fixated, which all this could lead to a full possession. But getting back to the mental health issue, there's a very fine line between mental health and symptoms of demonic possession, as you know. Mm-hmm. And that fine line is, in my opinion, is that if a person is mentally ill, who's to say it wasn't the demonic that placed a seed in their mind to begin with to start off all of this negative behavior and other strange things that are totally abnormal. That's a possibility. So I'm always like, real cautious in terms of what I listen to and what I see. Sometimes it's really hard to hear what's going on in a recording, or pictures. Videos are sometimes very, very helpful, especially. And so it's really, it's kind of tricky, but you do have to make an assessment, and it's very important before you do anything else.
Exactly. I mean, the other thing too is during one of her screaming fits, I looked in her eyes. I looked at her right in her eyes, and her eyes were wandering, like when she was looking around to see who was watching her. So I'm not 100% convinced that there's anything demonic there. If anything, I would say it's more, like I said, it's more mental illness at this point. But I'm just waiting for the psychological report. Unfortunately, their insurance is giving them a problem about it.
Really?
Yeah. So
I would make a suggestion. There's a lot of free clinics that they could go to actually get a psychological evaluation. It won't be in detail, but at least it'll run through the main basis as to what their stability is. Yeah. So there are other avenues, but that's correct. You have to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. You read everybody, oh, this person's getting an exorcism. And a lot of the phone calls I get, first words out of their mouth, I need an exorcism. Okay, why? Hang on a sec. What do you need?
This.
Okay.
I also need you to hold him because I have to rinse it out.
Yeah. Nice thinker.
So now you get.
So I got my I got my son. Hey,
how you doing there, buddy? Yeah. What's his name?
Edison.
Edison. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's two. He's two. He hasn't been feeling good the last couple of days, so.
Oh, poor thing.
He's tired today.
I have a 2-year-old grandson. I'm sorry, I have a 2-year-old granddaughter, and then I have a about 6-month-old grandson. So yeah, the terrible twos are really a big thing. It's a real thing, actually.
Yeah, I've seen your posts on Facebook with your granddaughter.
Yeah.
She's a cutie. Hey, you're all right. Relax. You're all right. I know. You want mommy. You never want dad.
My granddaughter's the same way. She's so shy for the strangers. Yeah, it's really something.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. So I did tell him to do the psychological route.
Yeah.
For for that reason, because you see all these movies about exorcism and stuff like that, and yes, they're great, but they don't show the actual real assessment. I think the only show I've ever watched was that show Evil.
I think they're pretty close to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the closest show I've ever seen.
Any show that shows you that there's an actual assessment that has to be done before ritual. You see, my logic is that the demonic does its best to hide itself. Mm-hmm. And the last thing in the world it would want to do is raise its hand and say, here I am, do your best to get me out. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. Okay, in fact, if anything else, you'd have to do a lot of digging and to find out exactly what you're actually dealing with. And if it is a demonic entity, then you have to take the proper steps. But first of all, the psychological evaluation is extremely important. So much so in my organization, we actually have 3 psychiatrists, and one's in the UK, and one passed away about 6 months ago. And he was a really great guy. But anyway, you have the scientific community that's willing to get on board if they're open-minded enough. And, fortunately, I've been real blessed to know a lot of people in the professional community in regards to mental health. Extremely important. And you know what? There's always cause and effect. Okay, why is a person acting a certain way? Is it a chemical imbalance in the brain? Or is it actually something more sinister, like a demonic entity, perhaps maybe a demonic oppression that's going on? Or maybe that person is living in a demonic infestation, which is like, a whole house could be filled with all types of dark entities. Yep. And that's another big thing that we have to watch out for. But, whatever you do, you always walk into a situation with both eyes open because, you never know what's going to happen until it actually happens.
I equate investigating it like being a firefighter. And anybody who's been a firefighter knows a firefighter. You know, we're trained to be aware of our surroundings at any time. You know, because any time in a fire, a floor could give out, a ceiling could fall on your head. You know, you got to know this stuff. And so I feel it's the same way with investigating anything paranormal, demonic, ghost, demonic, and anything, because you never know. I don't know if I was talking about it before. I don't know if I would call it a full possession. Well, I definitely know it's not a full possession, but in Gettysburg at the orphanage, I had a body takeover, what I call a possession, because I didn't know where I was until I got out, and I had almost super strength. But I mean, I'm a strong guy to begin with, but I almost ripped the door off a hinge trying to get out. And I got lost upstairs in what I call the smoky fire. But once I got out, the attachment was gone. And it opened my eyes. And unfortunately, I was doing something stupid. And I was provoking.
Yeah, you never do that.
You never want to do that. No.
No, you never do that.
And I learned my lesson that night because...
I bet you did.
I tell you what, though, I did get some great sleep that night. I slept for 12 hours.
Wow.
And we actually did a show a couple weeks ago on this because I was watching a YouTube channel at work while I was waiting for my customer to unload my trailer. And it's called the Paranormal Files.
Oh.
And it's on YouTube, and they were at the Sally House in Kansas or whatever, Illinois, something like that. And they were sitting there doing a seance, and the one guy goes, If you're a demon, use me. And I'm just like,
exactly.
and I see a lot of these YouTube channels that are doing that, and it just annoys the hell. Excuse my French, but it annoys the hell out of me. And it was one of those things where I was so frustrated I had to get out my frustration. So we did a live on it, unfortunately. But I mean, we have an event ourselves that we're doing in a place we never investigated, and I told everybody, if you get caught provoking, you're out.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't want to be cleansing anybody if I don't have to.
I always make a suggestion. Okay, and this is part of being a professional investigator and being a Christian. Okay, always put God in your dialogue.
Yes.
So even before you enter the premises, you say a prayer.
Yep.
If you're with your team, you say a group prayer for protection, and that's before you even walk into the door. And once you're in there, then everything is open. That is, you are open, as well as every member of your crew. They would be open to some type of influence, sometimes very dark. And if that be the case, you have to make sure that you're in the right place when it comes to your relationship with God. Very extremely important. I can't even emphasize that enough. Now, there's a lot of groups out there that just do it just for the heck of trying to see if they could catch something supernatural, and as a result, it's more of a challenge. People in my organization, we don't look for it. People come to us with their problems, and then when we look at them, we see exactly what's going on in regards to their past history, who they are, and what they're actually experiencing. If they're experiencing some kind of manifestation that cannot be explained, then there's a very good reason that you're going to probably make several trips there to get some type of a feel as to what's going on. And that's where your final assessment comes into play. Extremely important, but you do have to follow the steps to do that.
I tell everybody to get these cameras, Wise cameras.
Oh yeah.
I have them in my house, and it's caught paranormal activity in my house. And this way, because you can send it, you can email the file to me. So like, let's say my camera caught a shadow figure or something, and that's one of your claims, but we didn't catch it. At least we have that evidence.
What is that camera called? Is it like a body cam, or what is it?
No, it's hang on a second.
Because that is a very good thing to have, by the way, especially with doing investigations. Okay.
Yeah. It's on like a this one pans around. It's color night vision.
Really?
They have outdoor cameras, indoor cameras. These are great. I tell everybody to get these, and they're not that expensive. They're really not. and
Well, are they considered body cams? Or do you
no,
can you put it on your body, or do you have to hang it somewhere? Is it stationary?
no, you
Or?
can put it on a tripod.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can
sure.
put it on a tripod, or I have it. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see. I have it on the TV back here,
Yeah.
and the cabinet behind me with all my vestments hanging up there, kind of
Mhm.
blocking my firearms,
Mhm.
so Facebook doesn't put me in jail. But that's what we have. That's what we have it on. But we use it to watch. We got it for our dogs when we had our dogs.
Mhm.
But it's picked up some paranormal activity. I actually have a portal open in my house. Somebody opened the portal in my house, but
Really?
I look at the spirits when they manifest, and I just tell them, look, if you're gonna be here, you're gonna do housework, and they leave.
Well,
You know,
that's one way to.
yeah, you know.
Well,
So plus I've also blessed my house and blessed every room and all that.
have you ever
so.
did a property sealing, spiritual sealing for your property?
No, I don't have that much activity. If I had more, I would.
Just as a
Um,
precaution, especially when you go on these investigations every once in a while, you should seal your property with a. I can
Mhm.
tell you how to do it if you like,
Yeah.
and it's a
Go ahead.
protective seal, and this affects all four corners of your property. And so what you do is very simply is dig a hole about 8 inches deep directly on the surface of each corner of the house. Then after you do that, you put some blessed salt, you put some a crucifix, some holy oil, and after you have those elements in there, you bury it, and then you pray over it, a prayer of protection. Very
Mhm.
simple. And then you repeat the process throughout each four corners of the property. When you do that, you have what's referred to as it's a spiritual invisible force, like a what's it called, force field. It's like you're generating a force field around your house, spiritual force field, and because of the sacramental elements you have in the ground that's actually planted in all four corners of your house, you are fully protected, and that will protect you from outside entities. If you, let's say you go on, you do a ritual, or you go on some investigation, you come back home, you have no idea if you have any attachments to you.
Mhm.
If you do it right, and that is if you pray before you go even get involved in anything you do
Yep.
in Christ's name, you're going to be protected. Okay, and you just believe that to be so. So when you do that, you could still get an attachment. It could happen. But when you reach your property line, since you already sealed the property off, the odds are that whatever's attached to you will jump off you immediately. It's like you've made your ground like a holy ground. You consecrated that little piece of ground, okay, for you, your family, your loved ones, and most of all, the presence of God will always be within that property, protected. And of course, again, that's not to say that you shouldn't have crucifix on every doorway. I would do that. I would put crucifix at every doorway, especially your main doorways, your back door and your front door. Extremely important.
Yep.
And then always, the St. Michael's prayer. You should always say the St. Michael's prayer in the morning and in the evening, especially if you're going to do an investigation with your team. And assuming that all your members in your team are spiritual, they're all Christian based, and even if they're not, they could still be effective as being part of the group.
Right.
And of course, and each person in your group, of course, as you allocate certain duties to each member, and they're responsible for holding up their end. You always have to have somebody on your six, behind you, in front of you, or around you, because especially if you're the main person that's walking in there as the lead, you have to really make sure that everything is to par.
Yeah.
And it's for your own protection, and also protection of the people who are in the house.
Yep.
Because whatever happens in the house, everyone in the house is affected. Okay, if there's some type of entity that's in the house, dark entity, everyone has been touched, and you have to go on that assumption, especially when they tell you so. But always take with a grain of salt when somebody says that they're possessed, because, as I said, I don't believe the demon wants to even know that you're going to be there, and you're going to be they're going to be intimidated by your presence, so they will not tell you who they are or their name. That's where you have to go into the ritual, and it's like a wrestling match. Okay, once you get in there, okay, you got to throw everything at it. Throw lots of scripture, especially holy water, of course, is traditional. But you just do everything you have to do in order for that to happen. In order for you to be somewhat in control. But understand, you're never fully in control.
Right.
But you're in control up to a certain point. And when you can, and you know that to be a fact, you just continue to stay firm on your faith. Understand what you're doing is it's not a game. Okay, what you're doing is God's work. Okay, and what a demonic investigation is all about. It's about making an assessment, and if there is a real major demonic issue, then make sure that you have the right people to do the ritual. If you do the ritual yourself, make sure that you have support. Never do an investigation on your own, as you know.
Yeah.
But it's extremely important to follow the criteria that I laid out, and you do that, and you'll be successful.
Yep. Yep. I've had a few cases where I've used it and it worked out well. Not demonic, but even your assessment, the way you assess it works in even just a regular paranormal case.
Sure.
And I've used it, and I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, it's proven. It works.
What I always say is you have to look for the physical manifestations that takes place, especially if you have a camera and you could record the whole scenario. That would be wonderful if you could do that. But if anything moves out of place, it could be poltergeist activity, nosy ghost activity. That is just to get your attention, just to kind of play with you for a while. Poltergeists they're not known to stay at a location long enough. They're only there for a few weeks, but they will make all the noise and try to get your attention just for the heck of it,
Yep.
And so understanding all that is extremely important. But also understand the human element. And that is, there are people out there that have no issues whatsoever, but they just want attention. So they will call you and they will say, I have some poltergeist or I have some paranormal activity happening in my house. I need you to come down and do an investigation.
Yep.
Always take it with a grain of salt, okay? Because when a person does that, then you open yourself to what might be a term called prank. Somebody might be pranking you. That's kind of a new word in my vocabulary. I'm an old guy, so hardly ever use those those terms. But anyway, if they're not trying to prank you or trying to get, maybe they are mentally unstable and they're trying to have someone to endorse their delusions, and that would throw them further back in their psychosis.
Yep.
Don't want to do that. So, you make your investigations, you check each person that's in the household, and you do an investigation on the house, because maybe somebody who lived there prior to them, maybe something horrible happened, a murder or some kind of horrible thing that may take place.
Exactly. Well, that case that I had you listen to, I didn't do the investigation of the house because 2 hours after being there, I had a migraine from her screaming all the time, and I just couldn't stay any longer. I mean, it sucks to say that, but I couldn't stay any longer. But I'm still in contact with them, and if I need to, because he actually told me that it's gotten better. She's been praying more, and it's gotten a little bit better. It's not completely stopped, but they're actually of the Jewish faith.
Oh,
and she wants to convert to Catholicism, and I told her, I said, that's fine, and in my eyes, I feel that, if whatever you want to do, if you want to be Catholic or you want to be Jewish and all that, pick one, because somebody could do something undo something that you did. It's like in terms of a blessing, like when let's say you bless a house before you sage it. Well, the sage will get rid of the blessing, or may get rid of the blessing. So I tell everybody, just pick one and stick with it. But it doesn't mean, I told him, I said, it doesn't mean that the church is going to throw you out because you're Jewish. You can still go to a Catholic church. That's the beauty of Catholicism. They'll still accept you. You don't have to go take the Eucharist or anything like that, but they'll still accept you in the church.
Sure.
So,
I I would like to suggest also that when you're dealing with someone who is Jewish, for example, I would look further into where they worship and talk to the rabbi, because sometimes they have someone assigned to do this type of spiritual interaction, if you will. Okay. So Jewish people, they have the same type of belief system in regards to what evil is, and so they acknowledge it as such. We acknowledge it as such as well. But you wouldn't believe how many religions are out there that have that just simply dismiss the reality of the demonic. They will just dismiss it and they'll say, "Oh, it's a mental health issue," and they'll leave it at that. And then you wouldn't believe the amount of people who are in mental institutions even today that where 85% of those people may have some form of demonic issue going on. Yeah. And because whoever was the closest to them, they either gave up on them, didn't know how or where, in which direction to get help, or, a number of things. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's extremely important that you acknowledge the fact that they do truly exist. In the 800 or so religions in the world, about 60% of those religions, they have and acknowledge some form of a healing ministry, whether it be a ministry of deliverance, which maybe the Protestants call that, or an exorcism, and using the Roman ritual. All those factors are in play. But and it's interesting to know that the demonic doesn't care what religion you are, doesn't care what denomination you're affiliated with. It doesn't care what your belief system is. What they want to do is they want to break you down as a person, and they'll do it mentally. And once it's mentally pushed down into your brain with demonic oppression, then the next step, depending as to where you're going to particularly go with that entity, you can develop into a full possession. And if that be the case, then that would be horrible. I mean, it's just horrible. Yeah. Yeah.
There's evil everywhere in every religion, one way or the other. And everything I've read and everything I've been reading and stuff like that, it says that, So you just got to be careful, and if they're of this faith, look at this faith. Try to get like you said, a rabbi in and talk to the rabbi. Talk to everybody that you can. Is the way I look at it.
I was going to ask you. It's a little bit off the subject, but I was going to ask you. Did you catch me on TV a couple of weeks ago? I was on To Tell the Truth, and
I tried to, but I couldn't find it.
Okay, you could go to what is it? HULU. You know that station, your cable station.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and just look for To Tell the Truth, and the date it was aired was 4/12, so April the 12th, and it was great because the person next to me, I mean, first of all, they were like, I don't know if you're familiar with To Tell the Truth, but they have like 3 people who one person's the real deal, and the other 2 are just imposters. And so the guy, so I get some really interesting emails. People telling me that the guy on my left or my right actually looked like he was possessed. And I probably should have did some kind of exorcism there. Anyway, I had a great time. And yeah, if you look up online and you'll see. They say that when you're on TV, you look like 10 pounds heavier. So help me, I looked like about 100 pounds heavier. I couldn't believe how big I looked. My gosh!
Believe me, I know.
Well, you're a young guy. You could brush it off. I'm going to be 70, so that's pretty old.
Yeah. Are you still, even though you're retired from the church, are you still taking cases?
I take high profile cases.
Okay.
If let's say somebody and I'm just putting the name out there. Let's say that Elizabeth Taylor contacted me and dropped me an email message. That would be considered a high profile case. Okay. Someone who is desperate, they fall in that kind of category. I've done a lot of rituals in Hollywood, and I've met a lot of, and I can't even talk about the movie stars, that have actually done movies and stuff, and you would believe the issues they have. A lot of them have substance abuse issues. The substance abuse issues will also bring a person's offenses down, and once that happens, they're open to anything that's dark. So and unfortunately, there's a lot of people that fall in the category, not only in Beverly Hills but also in Hollywood and wherever you're from. So I mean,
I've heard those rumors.
Yeah. So yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, I wanted to ask you about a case that you consulted on. It was the Ghost Adventures case. The what the hell was it? Demons in Seattle, I think was the episode.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Dave Schrader had called you about that. What did you think about that after you saw everything?
It's really hard to say in terms of with any accuracy per se. The best way to make an evaluation is to be there on the spot, because things could be orchestrated. They could be planted and it could be false props or whatever. So you don't really know what you're dealing with because you didn't do the actual assessment yourself.
Right.
I did that some time ago, and I did a lot of Dave's radio programs.
Did you? I'll have to go back and listen.
Yeah, I did at least half a dozen, and many years ago. Anyway, it's I think that what actually happened, they were talking about some type of vortex that may have been opened, and there were certain things that were happening in the room and stuff like that. To me, I could tell you for a fact that there is some real genuine cases where it actually was filmed, where you could see the entity and you could see it almost to true form, and it could be scary. I have over the years, especially what comes to mind is most of my cases were on Skid Row, because I would get calls from the managers of these Skid Row hotels, and there's like over 200 hotels down there. And I used to have my team go and make an investigation, and then I would do the final assessment. And very, very, very interesting. But I took my phone and I snapped a picture of a long hallway corridor. And then as soon as I was able to review the photo, I actually saw 4 people. They were wearing white T-shirts. One T-shirt had a number, like a jersey number, like for a sports shirt. And they were all 4 girls, and they were like in casual wear, and they were all standing literally maybe about 100 yards from where the camera was, where my phone was, where I took the photograph. And that was a real happening. I saw also little demons that were like probably about 2 or 3 inches. And I had photographs where you could see beyond a shadow of a doubt. In fact, on my Facebook page, if you look, I don't know if you're familiar with the forum I'm tied into, but the forum, I posted some pictures of a spider. And the spider, I took it like real close up. And the spider, you could see that the spider had an actual face, a human face, wearing a cap. I'm not kidding you, like a sailor's cap. Not kidding you. And it's I haven't posted it in my forum. I haven't posted it on my Facebook wall somewhere. If you look back there, you might find some photographs. And I've been able to take some really good photographs, especially when I'm personally involved, attacked or things of this nature. And I have photographs of that online. So yeah, it's pretty interesting when you think about it.
Yeah, it really is. I actually have a photo. I have a photo that I took in Gettysburg, and it's a picture of a woman standing there and with a spirit forming around her.
Wow.
And I was just snapping photos, and this is a real photo. It's not doctored or anything like that, But this is like one of my best evidence and stuff that I still can find. I have others that I just can't find. They've disappeared. Like we were in Gettysburg, and this guy that I was seeing how he wanted to join us, and I was kind of seeing what he was about and all that. He said he's done some investigations and stuff like that. And this was before I found out he had attachments. And Tara had called me that night. We were doing the investigation and said to just watch my back, that he's got some kind of attachment. Well, we were out in the woods in Gettysburg at this location. I took a picture of him, and behind him you could see this huge demon. I mean, it was clear as day. You could see the wings and everything. Oh, and it was kind of unnerving at first. And unfortunately, I can't find the photo. I don't know where it is. It disappeared somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Things that are like in that nature, they do tend to disappear sometimes, and I think that's on purpose. That's an intention that was out there because it wasn't meant for you to keep the image. It just wasn't meant. There are certain things that we're privileged of actually seeing, with our natural eye, and then if we can capture it with a camera, it's wonderful, it's great. But sometimes if you go into the supernatural end of it, okay, there are certain things, and I think there are actually protectors out there that will actually make it possible for you to actually see it, at least for a while. And then I can tell you a story. A long time ago, it was an apparition, it was an angel, and the angel left me a coin. And so help me God. This coin, it was very interesting because I've never seen a coin like this. However, on the coin, there was an angel. And then on the back of it, it had other writings. Okay. And it wasn't gold. It was like maybe nickel plated or something like that. In any case, I will never forget. And then every time I would have that piece of metal, the coin, I would call it, I would pass it to somebody else before it disappears, because those type of things will disappear. You'll never have any access to those things. It's only meant for you to interact with these things for a brief moment in time.
Yep.
If that makes any sense. So, but in any case, the photograph that you have and you've taken of real spiritual entities, that should have done one thing and one thing to you, like immediately. That one thing, of course, it should have increased your faith in terms of the reality of what you're dealing with. This is not, we're not looking for Casper. We're looking for people that they've moved on and left a residue of themselves. Maybe they left, everything in the world vibrates. The world vibrates, Earth vibrates. Everything is vibrating. In fact, there's so much so that you can't even detect it because it's vibrating in such a low hum. Your body is right now vibrating throughout from top to your toes. I mean, it's vibrating. You don't even know. You're not even aware of it, but it's actually happening. When that happens, okay, it's so obvious, it becomes totally oblivious. You become totally oblivious to it. And you just acknowledge the fact, well, that's interesting, and so it is. I read somewhere that the Earth rotates 1,000 miles an hour. Wow, that is incredible. If that's so, 1,000 miles an hour, and yet we feel nothing, And it's like, but sometimes you just have to accept it on faith as to this is, the actual happening that's going on. In terms of the spirit world, it should increase your faith. And once your faith is increased, you become more powerful as a warrior for God. Yep. Okay. And as a result, you can teach others. Okay. Other people in your team may not have your experience, and you teach them all the things that you have learned over the years, especially your impressions, anything that you've learned and you think that it's worth passing on, you should do that because it just makes your team stronger. Yep. Okay. I mean, I've had teams. I had a lot of teams, okay, all over the world, basically. And I always hear the report that a lot of them would run out in fear. And once they see something that's supernatural, the average person, the average paranormal, I won't say the average, but there are paranormal investigators that are just out there for the thrill. They want to see something. They want to see something that's unexplainable. So they can say, hey, I actually saw this with my eyes, and as a result. And as soon as it does happen, they freak out. They defecate in their pants. They run out the door. It's like, okay, well, you wanted to see it. Okay, well, here it is. And then you're scared to death. The reason being is because it can be horrifying if you don't truly understand what's going on. You know?
Yeah. I'm that guy. I'm that guy that sees the shadow figure and I chase it down the hallway. I'm not that guy that runs away easily. I mean, I always tell everybody when I was a firefighter, okay, and I've since, I don't know if you retire from being a volunteer, but I retired because of the issues I had and stuff like that. I got burned out. But anyway, I was in a house fire, and I was searching a room. Okay, and It was very smoky. I didn't see any fire yet. The fire came up through the floor in the closet of the room I was in.
Mhm.
And it kind of reached out and burned my coat, the tail of my bunker coat. And the guy that I was with, he saw it. I didn't even know it was burning yet. And he jumped on top of me and started smacking me. And I turned around. I'm like, dude, what? He goes, you were on fire. I'm like,
Wow.
what? Right? So
Wow.
then I turned around. I saw the fire coming, and I could see a face in the fire.
Wow.
And to this day, I can't explain it, but I've heard other stories like that. And everybody, in firefighter lore, it's everybody sees the devil in the fire. So I really think that the devil was trying to reach out and grab me. Unfortunately, he just got my coat.
Well, it is typical, especially in true investigations where spontaneous fires will occur.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were directed to anyone, it's a message. And that when that happened to you, there was an obvious message there, and only you know what that message may be. But it should have been an impression upon you as to why it happened. As you were saying, if you see a shadow entity, the first thing you do is run after it. To me, I would be a little different. What I'd do is I'd look at it and I would say, why are you here? And who are you? The reason being is, even if it's a demonic entity, it might actually answer you, but not maybe verbally. Maybe the answer could be telepathically. When you get a strong impression of something, and you don't have to be a clairvoyant. You don't have to be super sensitive, okay, and be intuitive. Just being who you are, you have already lived several lifetimes, and as a result, you already know. It's almost a second nature to you as to what's going on. And when you hear these signals or a message coming to you, it may not be a verbal message. It might be a mental message.
Exactly. I mean, when I say I run down, and I'm not chasing it, silent. Who are you? Why are you here? Stuff like that. I'm holding the recorder out because I want to know, but I can also tell from doing these over the years, from doing this. I mean, I've been doing this since I was in high school, and I've developed, I guess you could say, a sensitivity, like a more of an empathic sensitivity, something like that. And I can tell when there's good energy around me, and I can tell when there's bad energy around me.
Exactly.
When there's bad energy around me, I get that pit in my stomach, and I know that there's something negative. I can't tell if it's a demon or anything like that, but I know there's something that's not good there.
Right.
And
sometimes you could just sense the darkness, especially if there's something in the room that's really dark. The hairs on the back of your head will start standing, and maybe you'll have a race of goose pimples on your arms, and something is going on here, and you don't see it, but you feel it. Yep. And it is interesting. We all have that ability. We all have the ability of being clairvoyant, because what happens is that we're so close to the elements that we could only absorb whatever's going on, which can be good or it could be bad. Okay. And of course, really negative energy. If you walk into a place and the air feels really heavy and there's no fire in it, but you feel the air, it's like so thick. And every step you take, you're almost like forcing yourself to make that step to go further into the room. Okay. Then something is up. Okay. And what that is, basically, that force is whatever exists there before you arrived. It's pushing anyone back who is not part of the scenario. You don't live there. They don't want you there. Okay. Yeah. Their whole purpose is to tear the victim inside out. And they're already focused on that one person. And a person has a multiple, demons in regards to possession, then you'll see the various personalities of each demon. Their personalities will be manifested in facial expressions and the way they'll start communicating. And sometimes it's a gurgle sound, and sometimes it's a sound you can't even understand what is being said, but you hear a sound coming from their mouth. Or sometimes you'll hear 2 or 3 voices at one time. Okay, and again, this is not telepathic. You actually hear these things coming from a person who's possessed. And so as a result, it can be very frightening, especially if you don't quite understand or experience these things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say the lead investigator has a major responsibility. The clergy in that team has a major responsibility because, you have to make sure that you know exactly what's going on, not only with the victim, but also with all your team members, because they could fall out, and they could get an attachment. And who knows, you may leave the premises with your team, and then you'll get a phone call maybe a week later, and it's one of your team members who are having some really negative energy and dark things are happening in their life. And then you may have to go back to investigate them, and do an assessment on them. So you see, it's like it's very contagious. There's this blackness that's all around us. Okay, and it's almost impossible not to see it. Okay, it's really bad.
I actually had an experience years ago at the Hinsdale House. I don't know if you've heard of the Hinsdale House or not. Up in New York, it's supposed to be very it's very haunted. I can guarantee you that. I've had experiences there, and it's supposed to be demonically haunted, the property and stuff. And me and my wife were there. Well, my fiance at the time, but we were there, and we actually sat down on the couch. We ended up falling asleep on the couch. Okay. And I can see the shadow. I had my eyes closed. I can see the shadow figure in my face. And I was wearing my cross and all that. I didn't have my St. Benedict's medal then, but I was wearing a cross. And when I opened my eyes, the shadow was still there. And as soon as I opened my eyes, it ran away. And I tell everybody that story on my team because I really believe that this is what saved me from having some kind of possession or anything like that. And I for many years, as an EMT and a firefighter, it's hard to see the good when you see the bad all the time.
Yeah.
And I stopped going to church for a long time and all that, and I got back into it. In fact, I went to mass this morning because I hadn't been there in 2 weeks because my whole house was sick. So, but and before every case, I try to do a confession. I sit at mass, just to make sure that I have nothing with me.
Exactly.
And I tell everybody that, and I just tell everybody, look, if you don't want to go to mass, I can't force you to go to mass, but make sure you got some kind of protection. Whether it be Jesus, whether it be whoever you worship or whoever or whatever, a stone or something like that. Make sure you got some kind of protection because I don't want to be getting a phone call a couple of days later saying, "Hey, I got a demon in my house." Because then we have to investigate you, and that's just more caseload on us.
Yeah.
I was talking to Bishop Long, and in fact, he actually asked if he can send me cases on the East Coast near me and stuff. He said he has an 800 case backlog. And stuff like that. So I said, yeah, send, if you get something in this area, send it to me. I'll check it out for you. And I'll try to help anybody. And in fact, that one lady on the Facebook page, I haven't talked to in a while. I'm wondering how she did. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Right. Well, actually, I receive so much email, even in my semi-retired state, I still receive emails and people crying out for help. And the best thing I could do is refer them to somebody that may be living in their city, or even on my website. We have a referral directory. They can go directly there, and they could look up the person's name, their clergy status, who they're affiliated with, and so on, phone number, and stuff like that. And it's on my website. In fact, I did that just before I retired because I wanted to make sure that at least I had that covered. Okay, I've been doing it. Well, when I retired, it was like 40 years. But I'd been doing the ministry for 40 years.
Wow.
And in my semi-retirement, maybe 2 years on top of that. So now it's been 43 years now. But right now I'm managing about 9 Facebook forums. Anyone could just type my name in the engine, search engine on Facebook, and you'll see all the various groups that I had created, and I still I still maintain it by answering questions and things of this nature. But sometimes it gets so overwhelmed. I mean, you get so overwhelmed with so much. I mean, there's so much in life. And as for me, as I humbly say, I think I've done just about everything that a person could do in life, at least twice. I still find things that are new. I still find things that I want to know more about, So it's just a big learning experience.
Yeah, that's why I tell everybody there's no experts in anything. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the field, there's always something new to learn.
You'll always be a student.
Yep.
And I mentor a lot of people and a lot of clergy as well. And I look at it as I'm the senior. I am the senior students. Okay. And they are the juniors, and they are also students, but they're learning, and they're receiving the learning from my teachings, as well as just mentoring them, in certain areas. So as a result, when that happens, you have to make sure you give credit where it's due. And that is, of course, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Okay. That's where your power comes from. And the cross itself, I wear mine all the time too. The cross is a symbol of what took place, and something that we could remember and make referral to. But rather, the cross is like a safe. A safe is a very good structure where you could hide all your things in and close the door and then just lock it in place. Well, the cross is your safe. But the thing is, in order to make full potential of what that safe is all about, you have to know the combination. Once you do the combination, you're able to open the door. Same thing goes with any religious article that you should happen to wear, whether it's a St. Benedict medal, which, by the way, I used to give out like hotcakes, because you can get them at any religious store, and it's like cents a piece or something like that.
I bought 25 of them off of Amazon for like $12.
Yeah. So relatively cheap, and but you see, it's not so much the medal; it's what it represents. It's what's on the medal itself. In Latin, there's a Latin prayer on one side of St. Benedict medal, okay, and which tells the devil to go drink your own poison and get the heck out of my face, okay. Yeah. And so as a result, it's what it represents, and it's based on your level of faith as to how much power you put into that.
Yep.
So, yeah,
I have it on my chain anyway. Even though I have this, I still have the same Benedict.
Yeah, that's you have to have that, because it identifies who you are, not only to other people that should happen to see you wear it, but it also identifies who you are to you, and who you are. You know all the secrets that no one else knows about you, and you've learned to either live with those secrets, or you've learned to work on those things, and as a result, we all have those skeletons. And so, because of one thing, the reason we all have these skeletons is because we have this one thing in common. You know what that is? It's being human.
Yep.
Okay, we're subject to everything.
Yep.
We're subject to every single thing, and so as a result,
I've heard many priests say this. And you yourself, you were a priest for 40 years, and everybody sins, even priests. It's just the way of life. That's what confession is for. You confess your sins, and you go to mass, and you basically clean yourself. Because I got to tell you, when I went to my first confession since I was younger, I felt a hell of a lot better. I really did. I felt like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I felt like I was more able to take charge of the investigation and be more aware of my surroundings.
Right.
Okay, I didn't have this, all the crap with my family overhanging over my head, or stuff that I've done and in the past. I felt really good. And, I never thought I'd feel that way, but it does. And it just, reaffirmed my faith.
That's right.
It
It defies who you are, too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to tell people how wonderful you are, because they could just see it. They see it in your actions. They see it in your faith. The scripture says, do not hide your light under a bushel. You shouldn't hide your light at all. That light is meant to be as bright as could be. And do what you know is right and keep God in your life and in the power of the Holy Spirit, you can do just about anything you ever set out to do. I mean, Christ himself said that we will do all the things that he has done. Okay, it's just a matter of not only believing but understanding and having it and having the Holy Spirit within yourself. It's extremely important. Okay, and you do that, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I never lost my faith. Believe me, I've had my spats with God and Jesus over the years.
Sure.
Just because I was pissed off with something, and I just kind of, look for somebody to blame, and they just happen to pop into my head. But the beautiful thing about it is, they forgive.
Yeah.
They will forgive your sins, and you always know that you have a place to go.
I always say that when you're dealing with these issues, the one person that you have to fall on your knees and ask for forgiveness is yourself.
Yep.
Okay. Whatever you've done in the past, you first have to forgive yourself. Once you've done that, then you can move on and help other people because they may have a similar situation going on, and you could be extremely helpful. Yep. But the very first person you have to make sure that you have full amends with, and that would be yourself.
Yep.
Once you forgive yourself of all the negative things, and believe me, I've had so many negative things in my life, but we all have because we're subject to it. I mean, we're human. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, we're all human. Everybody makes that mistake. It's just the way of life.
It's a way of life. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is your book.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't find. Do you have any hard copies? You selling hard copies or?
Yeah.
The only thing I could find on Amazon was the Kindle. And unfortunately, I don't have a Kindle.
This is what it looks like.
Yeah, there we go. And
it's kind of silly, but I have it in paperback too. And if you go to my website, there's a couple of links you could click on. And, it's www.orderofexorcist.com. And you go there, and you'll see a lot of interesting things, a lot of new things. I've been blessed with knowing so many wonderful, talented people over the years. And there's this one lady, she lives in Florida. I've known her for years. Her name is Emily, and Emily is the website designer. So she has volunteered services, and over the years, she's been very faithful. It's interesting when you do something and you do it right, and you do it because you're doing it, if not for anything else, for someone else to help that other person. People see that, and they want to get on board. They want to say, hey, can I help you do that? Can I help you, help this individual or whatever the situation is. And when you do things like that, you really feel good. It's a great, great feeling. I'll tell you that the first book that I actually wrote 4 books, but 3 of them are out of print because I was only offering them to my students. This one book here, it's a very short read, but it has the meat is very important. I'm going to have a sequel to the book.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to talk more about demons, about their behavior, about their individual traits. Okay. Which is quite interesting. So I'll talk about the personalities that are manifested within a demonic person or behavior, and I'll go into that in detail. But this first book here is really my autobiography, okay, and it's about my various miracles that occurred in my life, and then also about 6 or 7 cases are discussed there in regards to detail, and it's interesting. I get a lot of good feedback from people, and so far I think people have rated 4 stars. I don't know if that's good or not.
Good.
5 stars is good. 4 stars, I don't know. Maybe that's like a C or B plus, or I don't know. In any case, it's out there.
It talks about things a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm definitely gonna get a copy of it. Unfortunately, I was gonna take in your class. We'll get into that in a minute. But your class, I'm gonna take your class eventually. I just haven't had the money because with the pandemic, and I'm rolling in money over the winter this year. But this year we only had 2 snowstorms, and my company didn't run salt this year, so I lost a couple $1,000s in that.
Yeah,
So
wow.
yeah, so the winter has been kind of hard, but now that I'm back to work, I'm getting back in the swing of things. So soon I'm gonna take the class, and that's what St. Michael's was it St. Michael's Seminary?
Yeah.
The seminary
St.
study.
Michael Seminary assessment studies.
Yeah.
And so, I cover a lot of things in detail, and not only that, but there's 7 classes, okay, and each class will give you a different perspective in regards to what we do. Okay, you yourself have been doing it for a while. You've already absorbed a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, which is great. But the whole thing is, you should never ever try to stop learning. You should always continue to learn as much as you can, and from any source you can. And even if you don't agree with it, you're still learning from it. You're learning to make an opinion, and based on your perspective, you could pretty much, figure it out from there.
Yeah, I mean, I look at other people. For you, we'll use you for example. I'll read your book. I'll see how you do something, and I'll try it. If it works for me, it's great. If not, I'll try to figure out a different way, to make it work for me, because everybody has their own ways of doing things, and that works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the way that I've read from you guys is it works. It works for me, and it's worked for me in other non-demonic cases and stuff like that.
I created this system called the process back in 1982. And at that time, I received that same year, I received my consecration when I became a bishop. Then I organized the ministry so we could go out on these calls. People were calling us and telling us that there are all kinds of bizarre things happening within their house. And they wanted to know if we could send a priest. So, that's how it started. And this is way before the internet. So, we only had like so many priests in our parish. And so as a result, I had to try to recruit other ministries and incorporate them into this one umbrella. And I named it the Order of Exorcist. And so as a result, since then, I've noticed that there's a lot of my students that have created their own websites, which is fine and good. And they're still practicing the teachings I've taught them through the process, covering, the physical manifestations, the mental manifestations, and also other things that could be extremely valuable when you do an assessment.
Yep.
And so I have, and I thank God, I give him all the credit. I have members in 24 countries around the world, and these are priests and bishops and investigators. And they have their own websites. They are all tied into yours truly, and as a result, it's my legacy that I've left. I wrote this book, and I meant to leave it as a legacy, but the real legacy is not itself, but it's all the things that we've done as a group to help other people, and with the emphasis on doing it at no cost, free. Okay, right. Everything is free because
that's the most important thing.
It's extremely important, and and once they find out, I even had people. I had this one person that contacted me some time ago, and wanted to know if we could do an assessment, and they were willing to pay $1,000. And I said, if we're in your city, and I have somebody that's there, that a bishop has a jurisdiction and will assign an exorcist to your case, then we'll help you, but it won't cost you a cent. When a person is offering services such as exorcisms, okay, if they're charging for it, I would shy away from them immediately. Yep. And there's even a guy here on the West Coast. I won't mention his name, but you probably already know him. And he charges $1,500 for a ritual over the computer. $1,500.
I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm not to judge anyone. All I can say is that we've never made any money off rituals, okay, and things. The book, of course, I'm charging for the book and also for the seminary lessons, and that's because of all of my hard work over the years. But
Yeah.
God has always blessed us. And as long as you stay on the straight and narrow, I mean, seriously, it sounds kind of corny, but you stay on the straight and narrow, okay, and do right by people that you see, meet, and are associated with. And if you do right with that, then the odds are you're going to get that back in return. Manyfold. I mean, you start receiving these blessings as a result. And people will start thanking you for your time, for your ability to be available for them. Because most cases, when there's a true demonic case that's going on, most people will shy away from it. There's a lot of clergy that will shy away from it as well. Because they just don't want to get involved in that type of thing. Why? Because what if the person is mentally ill, and whatever that priest does, it would become liable to that diocese, because let's say and there's a big fear factor involved there. So in my organization, our investigators have a disclosure form, and they fill out, which states that we're not really responsible for the outcome. And the only true outcome, of course, is when you do things, you do it the right way. And not for self-gain.
Every time I go into, somebody calls me for a case that may be demonic and all that, I always keep the Annalise McKell case in the back of my head. How the Exorcist and the I think it was another priest and the parents were tried because of what happened and all that. So I always keep that in the back of my head. As okay, this can happen. It may happen. So we need to go this direction versus this direction.
Sure.
And so that's what I have, as well as everything else going on in my head. Somebody telling me they're possessed and this is happening and that's happening. Like I was just telling Tara before, I just got a case in the other day. And I'm not sure what to make of it. And I didn't really go through a demonic initial contact with her because I wasn't sure of how I wanted to go in and check this out before I started doing that. But she's claiming that things go missing, they move around. She wakes up with a knife on her bed pointing at her.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure what to make of that. I mean, is something putting the knife there, or is she being possessed and putting the knife there herself and not realizing it, I mean,
one thing I do know about the demonic, they don't need such things. They just have to will it to happen, and in the perfect storm, it will happen. The person can lose his arm, his eye, his nose, or other parts of his body. Okay, just as a result of interacting with a real demonic entity. Okay, so the knives are not really. That's a kind of a man belief, If you have a gun, you're safe. If you have a knife, you're safe. You have a weapon that you can protect yourself, defend yourself. The demonic and all the fallen angels, they don't have the need for any weapons because they have it all within who they are and who they represent. And their main mission in life is to destroy us from the inside out. And that's all they want to do.
Yep.
And things, if it's a demonic, let's say a demonic infestation, there's been cases where not only spontaneous fires would occur, but also things would be moved or missing and then reappear somewhere else in the house, or things of this nature. And sometimes, you see things that you have to kind of take a second look and say, wait a minute, is this my imagination or is this actually happening?
Yeah.
That's
why I tell everybody to get the cameras because, in my experiences, nothing happens when you're there. It happens always after you leave. So, like I said before, these cameras, you can take the video and you can email it to me. So I have a copy of anything that happens. So if your TV goes floating across the room and the camera catches it and we're not there, you can send that to me.
Yeah.
Because I always tell everybody evidence is the key. We're
right.
not just going to go hand out an exorcism or a deliverance, just because you say you need one,
Yeah.
So,
well, Dan, I really apologize, my friend. Honestly, for being so late. You know, we could do this some other time too. You know, you want to schedule another?
Yeah, we can do that.
Some other
Actually,
time.
what I was thinking was if I can try and get a couple more Bishop Exorcists on, maybe do like a panel.
Oh yeah, sure.
Do
That'd
a panel, maybe a couple case studies, and see how each one would handle it.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
Yeah. By all means, you know, be creative. Okay, be who you are, and and you'll make a lot of things happen. That's what you have to do.
And I'm learning that. You know, like I said, life's a learning lesson.
Oh yes, yes,
You know?
yes.
So you find out you do things that you never thought you would ever do, and sometimes it feels great, and sometimes it feels bad, and you feel bad about it. But hey, you're human, like we said before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that kind of covers it, you know, when you say, well, I'm human, so I'm subject to all these things. I'm subject for making an ass of myself. I'm subject of hurting other people because of my actions and thoughts. And, you know, it's you know, we are the master when it comes to really getting things wrong. Okay. You know, when we trip over something, we really fall pretty hard. So the only suggestion I have is to make sure you watch yourself while you travel in this world, because the world has a lot of sharp corners and you don't want to get cut.
Exactly right. So, but all right, I won't keep you any longer.
Okay.
I gotta head out to Long Island in the morning at 3:00. So
I used to live in Long Island. I used to live in Queens Village.
Okay. I gotta go.
It's not far from Astoria, Flushing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was born in Brooklyn, East New York. Hell's Kitchen, actually. So I'm a product of Hell's Kitchen. How about that?
The question is, does Hell's Kitchen welcome you back now that you're an exorcist?
I don't know. Okay, Dan, well, you take care of yourself, my friend,
right.
and we'll do this next time.
Yep, we'll be in touch, and if I get anything, you'll definitely be getting an email.
Okay. Take
All
care,
right,
my
have a
friend.
good night.
Okay, good night now.
Good night.
Okay.
All right, everybody. So we did get to talk to the bishop tonight. Unfortunately, the time zone thing kind of killed us, but we did get to talk to him. So I hope everybody that was watching and will watch this learned something tonight. And if you need our services, njghostdetectives.net, or if you need the Order of Exorcist, www.orderofexorcist.com. I recommend buying his book. Thank you. I appreciate you staying. I appreciate you staying with us the entire time. Thank you. And like I said, if anybody needs help out there, you can contact me. And if you feel it's a demonic case, I'll come check it out. And if it turns out to be demonic, we can definitely get in touch with the bishop and get it taken care of. All right. On that note, I have to go to bed. It's past my bedtime on a Sunday night, because I got to get up at 2:00 to go to work. So on that note, I will see everybody next time. Good night, everybody.